What's up? What's happening, everyone? And welcome to another episode of the Roll Call Podcast. I am Dylan Oxton here with Lucas Balduck. Lucas, how we hanging? Our team is hanging in there.
They are.
We're hanging in there.
Nice little sweep this weekend. Hopefully we get a series win tonight. Things are looking up, Dylan. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I mean, I have to say this team is obviously roster-wise, it's a completely different team since the trade deadline. But I feel so rejuvenated by these two moves, by getting Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo, and just the way this new look team has been playing ever since the trade deadline. I'm gonna say, like, I was telling myself right after the Red Sox series, because I was pretty down after the Red Sox series. I think we all were.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to tell myself not to buy back into this team. But I'm hook, line, and sinker bought back into this Yankees team right now.
Oh, I mean, I am too, Dylan. I mean, it seems like this season it's been a roller coaster of just in and out and in and out. And I mean, I'm in right now. Like you said, the trade acquisitions with Rizzo and Gallo and everyone. I mean, even guys like Luis Heel and the other dude. What did you say?
Stephen Riding
making.
Yeah, we'll talk about them later.
It's just looking great for us. I mean, you wonder all this time, what's Luis Heel doing down in Double A?
Oh yeah.
Like, this guy's obviously ready for the MLB. He comes in. Granted, it's against the Orioles. They're still MLB hitters. Don't get that twisted. And they do have several guys on that team who can hit the baseball. Ryan Mountcastle, Cedric Mullins, and
Trey Mancini. They got players. They got players up in Baltimore.
They got players. I mean, they have people who can put the bat on the ball. And Luis Heel goes 6 innings, 6 Ks last night. So that looked good, but I'll talk about Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo. While we haven't seen much from Gallo, Rizzo has been nothing but, I mean, an absolute gem of a trade.
I love this man.
Dylan was
telling me so much
before the show that one day he was just thinking, like, oh, man, I know this will never happen, but if we get Anthony Rizzo, I'll be the happiest man in the world. Dylan, I gotta assume you're pretty happy right now.
Oh, I mean, I'm through the roof about the Anthony Rizzo move. Just the whole time I was just like thinking, because I was like, man, like, I really like Luke Voit. He's been a great Yankee so far, and it just kind of seemed like there wasn't room to move guys in the infield, considering that Glaber is such a roadblock at the shortstop position. And the fact that, like, we kind of just, refuse to acknowledge that he's not a shortstop. I mean, it's very obvious. And I think Cash has come along to that. But because there's been such just locking up of the infield, I really never thought we'd make a move for a first baseman, let alone one of the top 5. I'd say, you know what? Screw that. Top 3 first basemen in the entire league. And lo and behold, this trade deadline rolls around, and Cashman is out here finessing other teams, and we get our hands on Anthony Rizzo. Cubs are paying for Anthony Rizzo as well, and we only had to give up one of our top 10 pipeline prospects. And also, we're getting Joey Gallo. I saw the Joey Gallo thing kind of happening. I wouldn't say it was like written in the sky or whatever, but it was, the Yankees were linked to Joey Gallo for some time. And if that was the only move we were going to make, I was going to be okay with that. Just because, he plays very solid defense. He's a above average defender. He's got above average on base percentage, a lot of pop, to say the least.
And on base percentage. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, yeah.
Rizzo's that guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Rizzo's that guy and more. He also hits for average. He's got a not a gold glove, a platinum glove at first base. That means he's like the best for everyone watching and listening. He is arguably the best defensive first baseman in the league. And we're going from, no offense to Luke Voigt, kind of a butcher defensively, first base wise, to just having someone that will Mark Teixeira esque defense back at first base. But yeah, overall, I saw the Joey Gallo thing kind of happening, but on top, the whole just Anthony Rizzo thing, on top of him being an all around winner, great ball player, we didn't see this coming
No.
at all.
World
It
Series
can't.
champ, Dylan. That's big.
He brings in a lot of pedigree, a lot of playoff winning pedigree coming from Anthony Rizzo.
And not to mention the small connection of him and Chapman having won the championship together in 2016. So the small things that matter, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we'll talk about Chapman later. He's starting to look good too. But just right out of the gate too, which was, and it was like a dream come true because I already loved Anthony Rizzo when he was a Cub, and I was praying that he wasn't going to the Red Sox because he was linked to the Red Sox. Well, obviously he was in their farm system for a while,
Yep.
and it looked like the Red Sox had their eyes on him come the trade deadline. But just the fact that we got him, and that fresh out in the Marlins series when we're rolling out the new squad, he alone almost, well, I'd say, accounted for two of those wins out of the sweep against Miami. Comes out and hits two bombs. He's getting on base, driving in runs, making fantastic defensive plays, saving errors from players that are like, just errant throws from Odor
Yeah.
or from Glaber. Just doing it, making an instant impact. You couldn't ask for more.
No, you really can't. I mean, I was listening to the broadcast yesterday, and I believe it was Michael Kay. It could have been David Cohen or Paul O'Neill said that you could give Anthony Rizzo sole responsibility for the sweep in Miami. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had a huge hit, and if not 3 or 4 impactful plays in each of those games, whether it be defensively or offensively. Obviously, he started off his Yankee tenure with 2 straight games with a home run and then a clutch RBI hit in the 3rd game of the series to seal the sweep there. And he's just, I mean, Dylan, you're right. You just can't ask for anything more. And it's been really a perfect fit for Anthony Rizzo. I know he said he probably would have wanted to stick with the Cubs back when he was still in Chicago. You know, he said if the ship sinks, I want to sink with it. But I'm sure he's not that upset that he is a New York Yankee, because I know I wouldn't be.
Yeah, no, and I wasn't upset about his comments, like saying he wanted to go down with the ship about the Cubs, because I if I was a player, I kind of would want my guys, to be ride or die on the season, and I'm sure he just feels like he let the city of Chicago down or something, and obviously this season wasn't going the way the Cubs wanted it to go, and the Cubs, I mean, they got rid of everyone.
Yeah, that was a fire sale if I've ever seen one, Dylan.
Oh boy, imagine going to the Nationals Cubs game the day after the trade deadline. Which is
those two teams
they played. They played. They played baseball games with those two teams after. It was a real thing. It's hilarious. But I mean, I can't imagine having to pay for that ticket. But going back to Rizzo's comments about getting moved, I like that because it just shows more of how much of a competitor he is and how much winning really means to him. He was like visibly upset that he couldn't get the job done in Chicago.
Yeah.
But knowing that what a competitor he is and a winner he is, I'm sure he's more than happy to get the chance to, to compete and win here in New York. And I don't think it was him, but I think it was Joey Gallo, who also grew up a huge Yankees fan. And for Joey Gallo, yeah, I mean, he's definitely not off to as hot of a start as Anthony Rizzo. It's hard to get off to a hotter start than Rizzo has, to be perfectly
Yeah.
honest. But Joey Gallo's provided his two doubles have just absolutely smoked, and it's only a matter of time until he starts just hitting a couple pop ups and those things fly right out of that short porch. And he's already, like, you can already see he's providing great defense, a little bit more extra speed on the bags. He's just also another solid piece to add to that lineup, and obviously just another lefty bat.
Yeah, I mean, I think coming into the trade deadline, the most important thing for this Yankees team was getting those lefty bats. And obviously, Dylan, like you mentioned before, we just thought we were going to get one lefty bat, and that being Joey Gallo. But we got Anthony Rizzo. He's obviously been fantastic for us. It's just splitting up those righties is so important. You see, Rizzo's been hitting second, Gallo hitting fourth, so it goes righty, lefty, righty, lefty. That can really foil a team's plans. I mean, whether they're throwing out a lefty or a righty, every other guy is going to have an advantage for the first couple, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are these days the most important spots in an MLB lineup. So I think it was just, like we keep bashing this into everyone's head, Dylan. These were great moves. I mean, could have used some pitching, so maybe a starter. Obviously, we talked to Andrew.
You're right.
Before the show, Andrew Heaney wasn't the greatest addition. We could have used another reliever or a starter, but I do not think it's the end of the world because, like you saw in that Miami series, that series win was solely due to the pitching because besides Anthony Rizzo, the offense really didn't do anything.
No, it was a lot more of the same from everyone else on the lineup in that Miami series. Given a lot of teams, it's just Miami's a tough ballpark to hit in. It's low key, just a really big park. Like, just the outfield's huge.
Oh yeah.
And it's not a hitter's park to say the least. Also, you got to give credit where credit's due. The Marlins can pitch.
Yeah,
the Marlins have got some pitchers on that team.
I think they're somewhere in the top 5 VRA for the MLB.
They are. If I had to say, they're definitely top 5 in the MLB coming ERA. They just can't hit for a lick. So that's why the Marlins are where they are. But don't get it twisted. Like, they can pitch, and they sure did show up to pitch against the Yankees in that series. Luckily, we had Anthony Rizzo. And just my favorite thing I have to say about looking at this lineup and how these two lefties are providing balance is it's evident in today's lineup. Like, today we got DJ leading off, Rizzo, Judge, then Gallo, left, right, left.
Yeah.
Or did I say that right? Yeah. No, righty, lefty, righty. Yep. But either way, that's something that, like, we've been screaming from the top of our lungs that this team needs. And I think what it's going to do is it's going to throw a big wrench into the way both the Red Sox play us and both the Rays.
Yeah.
One thing that people don't talk about enough is that the Rays are kind of built their whole team, and not to sound like they only care about us,
around beating the Yankees.
But that that's what they've been doing for the past 2 years. It's just been
shoot, it's worked, Dylan. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's worked.
Oh yeah, credit's due. I mean, up until this year where we've actually now lead the season series only by 1, but beforehand we're getting our teeth kicked in by the Rays every time we played them. I was used to be, and I still hate the Trop, but I was afraid to go play this team in Tampa because I was like, it's never good. It's just like the Patriots when they go down to play Miami. It's never good, and it was just never good for the Yankees the past couple of years when it came to playing the Rays. And I think that's because the Rays built that bullpen to just straight up deal with the Yankees' right-handed heavy lineup.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Rays, obviously, and this is a team that remains super competitive, Dylan. They shipped some of their better players around at the deadline. I mean, granted, they got Nelson Cruz, who they desperately needed in their lineup, a power hitter.
Mhm.
They shipped off Diego Castillo to a team that they'll be competing with for a wild card spot if they don't get the AL East crown. I mean, they shipped off
Rich Hill.
Rich Hill to the Mets, right?
Yep.
And then they traded, not at the deadline, earlier in the year, their starting shortstop.
Yeah. I want to say Willie Adames.
Yeah, Willie Adames. I mean, they've made these trades like they're a team rebuilding, but Dylan, they're a good team, and they just know how to keep bringing in these players that fit their system and win games.
And they're getting a couple guys off the IL as well. And Tyler Glass now, he's just a stud, to be perfectly honest.
Is he skipping the Tommy John?
I think he did. I think he did skip the Tommy John, and he's coming back. And from what I've heard, is that he's coming back. But it's going to be interesting now to see this new Yankees lineup go up against both the Rays bullpen and how they're going to deal with this now that we have more balance throughout the lineup. And the other thing is like this, we already were starting to get a little bit more balance in the lineup of post-trade deadline, pre-trade deadline, with Greg Allen coming in and Estevan Florial jumping in every once in a while. If those two guys can, obviously Florial's coming up and down, but adding Greg Allen into the lineup as a switch hitter with these two lefties, there's now balance throughout the whole lineup, and it's going to be just interesting to see how Tampa's bullpen and Kevin Cash is going to have to navigate that, because it's no longer just righty. And also, hopefully, we can get a hold of Nathan Eovaldi, and now that he's just not going to be pitching to all righties, because I'm sick and tired of him killing us. I'm sick and tired of him killing us all the time. I know that was a while ago against Boston, but I just can't stand it. It's every time he comes out there and he's throwing 7, 2 hits, 9 Ks, and it's just like, okay, well, I guess we have like 2 innings to score runs, because we're not going to touch a Nathan Eovaldi. But hopefully our boys Gallo and Rizzo will fix that. But moving on, real quick, Garrett Cole and Jordan Montgomery come down with COVID. Cash came out with that Jordan Montgomery yesterday while he was on getting interviewed. He was like, yeah, by the way, Jordan got COVID too. So 2 of the major pieces to this rotation at the moment out for the next 10 days. Also, Domingo Germán out for he's got rotator cuff tightness or something like that. So we're really
60% of our rotation, Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, thank God Jameson Taillon has been pitching the way he's been pitching.
Oh yeah, pitcher of the month for July for the American League. I mean, I believe I saw in his last 7 starts somewhere around 5-0, 4-0, with a sub 1.2 ERA, which is fantastic. Or maybe it was sub 1.8. I can't quite remember where it was at, but it was fantastic. It was sub 2. I know that.
Yeah.
He's looked phenomenal. He's someone that through his first 5-6 starts, I wasn't sure would be a Yankee for much longer.
I'm right there with you.
But he's been one of our more reliable arms as of late, Dylan. I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth, but I'm so happy that they are.
Oh, and I mean, like, I think we both talked about it, like, at some point, I'd say, like, end of May or something like that. I was kind of just like, I really can't deal with, like, these Jameson Taillon starts where he's going, like, 4 innings, letting up 4 runs. And the thing is, when he was struggling, he was still getting a good amount of strikeouts, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, his stuff was always there. He was just making mistakes. And I also think Boone maybe babied him a little bit too much on the pitch count.
Yeah, Boone's been a victim of that all season, is the pitch count numbers, and whether it's leaving a guy in a little too long or taking him out a little too early. Boone has certainly been, that's been a weakness of his throughout this regular season, and you just hope, leading up into the future with a lot of these guys coming up like Heel and The guy I keep
Stephen Ridings.
riding.
I
And
keep for some reason want to say Ross Stripling.
it's a very similar name.
It's like if you switch them up backwards, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or any of the guys like Davey Garcia coming up.
Yeah.
Some of our younger pitchers. You hope they don't fall victim to Boone's pitch count nonsense, whether it be for the better or the worse. But I agree with that, Dylan.
Speaking of David Garcia, just real quick, Cash was talking about it on his interview that he did yesterday with WFAN. He was saying David Garcia is just like not looking good at all this season, and I haven't looked at his stats. I don't know if you could maybe like pull up his stats when you get the chance, but apparently he's just been struggling big time and like kind of taking a step back. He didn't say he's taking a step back organizationally, like where they have their like their plans set for him. Just like I think he said, like statistically, he's just not looked sharp and his location's been off. So
Yeah, so it looks like in AAA this year. Ooh, that's not a good sign. He is
he's
2 and
getting
4,
tagged a little bit.
54 innings pitched. He's allowed 63 hits, which is obviously more than an inning per hit per inning pitched.
It's not good.
17 home runs, which is a lot. He's walked 39, struck out 61, and he has an ERA of 7.57.
Oof. That ain't gonna get it done. That's definitely not gonna get you a call up.
No, and his MLB ERA this year in 2 games is
Was he up here?
Yeah, he was for 2 starts. It looks like 2 starts and let's see, 8 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts or 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, and a 6.48.
So
Or-
okay,
oh,
so he's
6.48 ERA.
garbage. So
And
garbage.
correct me, his ERA is not 7.57; it's 7.41.
Oh, okay.
in AAA.
Still hot trash.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. I mean, he's young. He's like what? He's 22. I'm
Yeah.
gonna cut him some slack. I can't say I would have been. Obviously not. But he's 22. He's got time to get better. But it's nice to see Luis Hill and Stephen Ridings come up. If you watch the Stephen Ridings interview, post game interview, I encourage you guys to do so. It was really touching stuff. His grandmother died the day before the game, and like I don't know if you knew this. His grandmother died the day before he got called up, and he was sitting down with his family, making like all the funeral arrangements, and then he gets a call saying, "Hey, you're coming up to the big leagues," and
wow.
he described. Yeah, I mean that's just like that must have been an indescribable moment for him, and to be perfectly honest, his stuff looks indescribable. Where the hell was he when we were playing Boston? Dude's got 100-mile-per-hour plus fastball with like a 90-mile-per-hour wipeout slider, like. And we went up there and made those guys just look like minor leaguers.
I can't tell you, Dylan, how much I would have rather had him in there than Brooks Krisky. I mean,
That's who that stiff's name was.
Yep. And just for reference here, since we're throwing out stats, Dylan, in 10.1 innings pitched in the major leagues for Brooks Krisky, 14 strikeouts to 10 walks. The fact that he's even struck out 14 is amazing to me.
Can't believe he throws strikes.
With an ERA of 12.19. He should not see the major league field anytime soon, especially with Stephen Ridings shining like he did last night.
I don't want to harp on old losses because this is a new look Yankees team. That was the old Yankees with Brooks Krisky, whatever the hell his name is.
You got it.
But just watching him go in there and just throw all these balls just in the dirt.
Oh, it
Uh,
was, and I was watching the game with my girlfriend Dylan. She
mhm.
used to be really into baseball. School got the best of her. She lost track of keeping up with it, but she still knows the rules. She said, I mean, she watched the Red. She's unfortunately a Red Sox fan, but she watched um, Red Sox baseball from like 2001 all the way until 2013 when she stopped keeping track.
Uh-huh.
She said out of the 12 years she watched baseball, that was the worst pitching performance she's ever seen. And I'd say the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one thing to not throw strikes. It's another thing to throw pass ball. An MLB record amount of pass balls in an extra inning game in one inning.
Yep.
Five. And the fact it's just the fact that Boone like was just like after like two, he was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna stick with him. And then like three happened. Still gonna stick with him.
Uh,
And then a fourth happened. Surely there can't be five. And then of course, it's just like that was a bad L. Oh my god. But you know what? I'm over it. I'm over it.
it's a new day.
Because it's a new day. It's a new Yankees. Well, we have Anthony Rizzo. We have Joey Gallo. Luis Hill look great. Steven Ridings look great. Yankees are playing well. I don't we're getting fat off Miami and Baltimore. And I was having, and I'm saying like with this series with Baltimore and Seattle, I think there's only room for, since we already lost one game against Baltimore, I think there's only room for one more loss. I think we have to. We got to win tonight, and we have to take 3 or 4 from Seattle.
Yeah, that would be huge. That would be absolutely huge. And I think, like you say, it's not actually a must win 3 out of 4, but it certainly has the feel of a must win 3 out of 4 games against this Mariners team to kind of prove, the Mariners might be right on our tail, but, the Mariners are here and the Yankees are all the way up here.
And the thing with the Mariners is that if you look at their run score differential, I don't think I had it up actually just a hot minute ago. I have it right here actually. Run score differential for them. So it's minus 49. And most of the time that's a good indicator of how a baseball team is actually playing. And I just don't think I think the Mariners are one of those fakakta teams that's just gonna fall off. Like they got hot at a certain point, and it's just that I find run differential as a stat just tells the tale of how a baseball team truly is playing and how they will truly play. Because one thing we know about in baseball, numbers don't lie.
Yeah. Yep.
They always catch up, and I think we just got to beat the Seattle team and move on, and then we got to play the first place White Sox out in a cornfield in Iowa.
That'll be cool, though. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be cool, but like I just hate that we're the team. I get why we're the team that gets dragged into all this, like going to London, doing all this other stuff, and going to Iowa to play in a cornfield. Like we're the Yankees, I get it. We're like the flagship team. But I just don't like it. I don't like that we're going to have to play, because you know what's going to happen. It's going to be 8:30. It's going to be like an 8:30 game every night, and A-Rod and Matt Vasgersian are just going to be sitting there talking about the Yankees, acting like we don't know who the Yankees are, like that we haven't been watching every single pitch, and they're going to be like, oh, well, that the Yankees finally got lefty bats because they sucked for the longest time. Yeah, we know.
I did just find out today, Dylan, that it is just the one game in the field, and then we head to Chicago after.
Oh, thank God.
So
wait, what?
yeah, so it's one game in the field, We have an off day the next day to travel to Chicago,
Okay.
and then we continue the series.
So what? Like when do you know when we're playing them in the cornfield?
I just looked. Um,
Now I'm even like more pissed. They're making us move around that much against like the White Sox or a good team.
let's see. Da, 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 da. So
This is
that game
ridiculous.
is the 12th, which is a Thursday. So that is
Yep.
at Field of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa.
Oh, great. Yeah, they definitely need to go see the Yankees. A lot of Yankees fans out in Dyersville, Iowa.
13th is an off day, then
Okay.
which is when we travel to Chicago.
Yep.
And then we have, let's see here. 12 games in a row after that. So
Okay.
we
Uh,
do 2 White Sox, a makeup game with the Angels, 3-game series in 2 days with a doubleheader on the 17th against Boston. Then
I don't like that.
a 4-gamer against Minnesota, with the Friday night game being DJ LeMahieu bobblehead night.
Oh, that's a big
Um,
bobblehead.
and then 2 against the Braves at Atlanta. And then we go on a little West Coast road trip. Angels, Athletics. Looks like that's it though.
I
Then we
hate
come
those West Coast road trips.
back home for some Orioles and some Blue Jays. Then we're at the Mets, at the Orioles, home against Indians in Texas, at Red Sox, at Blue Jays, and then home against Tampa to finish the season.
So there's definitely room for us to start getting fat on some subpar teams,
Oh,
which is what we need to do. And you know what the thing is, and I was thinking about it today because I want to just listen to the radio all day, kind of while I'm at work. The Yankees are playing good, solid baseball. It's just that we play in the second toughest division in all of baseball, or arguably the toughest division in all of baseball. Like we have a solid record. We are 8 or 9 games over 500, while like the Mets are sitting over there 3 games over 500, barely, in first place and barely clinging on to a first place position. But no, we all can't be the Mets and play in easy little divisions.
Nope.
Nope, certainly not. Let's talk about Chapman real quick because we hinted at him earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting to look like, I wouldn't say the old Chapman of what he looked like this previous year, but he's definitely back on track to being a solid above average all-star reliever. And just one quick thing to add about just the way he's looked. This kind of always happens every year with Chapman, right? There's like there's like always like a 2 or 3 week funk where he just can't, locate a fastball if you had a gun to his head. And I guess this year it happened a lot. It was just really exacerbated, and just the way he was blowing these games. Because the Yankees, these games were critical. We weren't in first place, and they were just such big leads. That we just honestly, I've never experienced those kind of L's as a fan.
No, it's a new feeling, and it's not a good one.
No, yeah, that was a new feeling. Having all those L's handed to us, but for the most part, I'd say since the Red Sox series, or even part of the Red Sox series, Chapman has started to look back. He's getting his what back together.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh no, you go.
I mean, yeah, he is our closer. I mean, he needs to be our closer. We talked in the past, about who will actually be the closer for this team. I think it needs to be Chapman.
Mhm.
We've seen guys like Green go out there and try to close. Green blew a save pretty badly too.
Yeah, that was
Um,
bad.
and then besides him and maybe Britain, but I don't know about Britain anymore either.
Mm-mm.
We really don't have another closer on this team, Dylan. I mean,
No, not at
Chapman's got
all.
to be that guy. He
He
really does.
he will be a major key moving forward for how far this team goes. Coming if in the playoff push, and I knock on wood right now. It looks like the division might be back, considering the way the Rays and Red Sox have been playing. That's a little
Mhm.
bit of a stretch, but I don't see the wild card as a stretch. At least the second wild card spot, I don't see that as a stretch at all. Like I said, Seattle, Paper Tiger, the Athletics. I just don't think have the pedigree. But moving forward, Chapman has got to be a huge key to our success because, to be perfectly honest, I have little to no faith in Zach Britton right now.
Nope.
Just the way he's come back, um, it just seems like every time because it doesn't show up on the box score all that much. Because, but the eye test when I watch Britton, it's just like I'm just in there. I'm like, is he gonna throw strikes? Because I know for a fact he's gonna walk the first guy. He's always gonna walk the first batter. That's what he's done all year, and it's driving me nuts. There's only so many tightrope situations Zach Britton can work his way out of, and I mean he's also like we're lucky that he's got such a nasty sinker because a lot of these innings that he's been having the tightrope out of are because of that sinker and his ability to get double play balls. But if that's like any other reliever, he's getting blown up like
Yep.
almost every time. And like he's really lucky just that he walks a guy and then luckily they just ground into a double play most of the time. But it's just he just hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked like the old Zach Britton.
No, he hasn't. I mean, and age probably is just getting to him. He's been dealing with some injuries lately. It's a lot to ask of a guy to be that dominant of a pitcher for as long as he's been around, Dylan. I mean,
Yeah,
Chapman, like I just said, Chapman's got to be that guy. I mean, there's no other choice. This team, has to have every position clicking. And that's all the way from the starting pitcher all the way down to the final reliever and the bullpen and the closer. And then 1 through 9 in the lineup. It's got to be doing their part, offensively and defensively.
absolutely. And it's just one thing in general with relievers. Like I'm not going to sit here and say Zach Britton's a bum and he's washed up because there's still plenty of baseball, plenty of time, to get everything together to, for him to get into the groove, and to start looking like the old Zach Britton. But when it comes to relievers nowadays in MLB, there's only like a dime a dozen of a group of relievers that you can consistently count on year after year of being good. Because a lot of guys are, they'll have a peak, they'll go back down, and the prime example we see that with Adam Ottavino. Like one year, Adam Ottavino, I think the first year with the Yankees, he was my hands down favorite reliever.
Oh, he was so great.
Untouchable, just like when he was in there, clamps, it's over, like no one's touching him, and we were using him like all the time, and like the highest of leverage situations other than the ninth inning. He was awesome. And then the next thing next year, we can't even trust him to get left-handed bats out.
Right.
So the fact that Britton has stayed consistent for as long as he has, along with Chapman, and Green, is really just a testament to one, this Yankees bullpen and those players, but also it also shows just how hard it is to consistently be good at the reliever position in baseball nowadays.
Yeah, it's not easy. They're relievers for a reason. They're going out there and putting everything they got in every pitch. I mean, there's a reason why Chapman's north of 100 miles per hour, and he's pitched as high as a 107.
Oh yeah.
It's not easy to do, and you wouldn't be able to do it on such a consistent basis. That's why they're in the bullpen.
Oh, and that's why they're some of the best relievers have been some of the best relievers in the game for the past five or so plus years.
Yep.
So we got a lot of guys coming back from the IL. A lot of guys. Some guys have been on the field, and we've seen what they've done so far this year. Others, Sevy, we haven't seen in a hot fortnight. Or, I mean, I can't. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I saw Severino on the mound.
I can't either.
Let's think about this real quick. When was he actually the last time on the mound?
It had to have been
2019.
It had to have been 2019 playoffs.
Yeah, I forgot. You know what? I forgot he made it back for that. Like he was
could
like,
you imagine if he had never? He would have seen him since 2018.
well, yeah. I mean, I think he got extra hurt coming back too soon. I would have rather he just sat out all of 2019, to be perfectly honest. And because I mean, I think that's what re-aggravated his arm. Because didn't he get hurt? He had like some sort of inflammation in his elbow for most of 2019.
Yeah.
And then like he came back for like a couple starts, and we're like, oh, should we pitch him? Shouldn't we not pitch him? But I haven't seen Sevy in a hot minute. But he did make a rehab start the other day in either Double A or Triple A. I know he went 3 innings, let up 1 run, struck out 4. But it's good. It's going to be good to see him coming back, considering that 3/5 of our rotation right now is gone. One of them gone for the foreseeable future, and to bring a Herman. I mean, I don't know what's up with his shoulder. They haven't really given us a timetable on that, but we have a pretty solid timetable on Cole and Jordan Montgomery, and that's 10 days. So, I mean, the sooner we can get Sevy back and Kluber, the better. I don't think Sevy's going to be back within 10 days. I just haven't heard that much about when his date is, but I know he's getting ramped up a lot quicker than Kluber is. Kluber slowly. He was throwing. I think he threw a sim game, but not off the mound. But he was starting to really turn it around too. Obviously, with the no hitter. But when it comes to Voit, Frazier, and Andujar, I don't know, Lucas. Where do you see them in this lineup?
It's hard to say.
If you see them in the lineup at all,
right? And you'd like Brett Gardner out of this lineup. And preferably have an outfield of Gallo, Judge, and Stanton, but that's a lot to ask for. It shouldn't be, but it is.
I could honestly do without Stanton in the outfield. I would like to see Greg Allen out there,
but then that's the thing. Then I don't see a place for any of these players. I just don't. I think Odor, you can't take him out of the infield. Obviously, you're not taking Rizzo out.
No. Not my new favorite player.
So where do you put Voit? Besides the alternating DH with Stanton, maybe when Voit plays, Stanton can be in the outfield, but still a lot to ask, Dylan. I don't really see a place for any of these 3 guys. I think a lot of them should have been trade chips.
Yeah, the thing is, with Voit, I know for a fact that we tried to move him, but it's just I think his stock is just so low right now that like there was just no point of trading him for a bag of balls just to get him off the roster. And I hate to see this happen to someone as likable because he took being a Yankee very seriously, which is something just as a fan. As a diehard fan, like we have to appreciate, he was hurt when we were hurting. He was visibly hurting, and he was upset, with the way he was playing. And even last year, I remember one of my favorite quotes was from last year came from him. He was like, "Look, we're not playing like the New York Yankees. No one's afraid of us. We got to get back to playing that way because we are the New York freaking Yankees."
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like I love Luke Voigt. Like he gets it. Like he wants to be a Yankee, and he's been a great contributor. I mean, if we didn't have him, I think I don't know what we're sticking with. We still have Greg Bird, So
Oh
they,
boy.
yeah, that's an understatement. Sitting in Colorado, Ugh. But yeah, no, Voigt's been nothing but a great Yankee. It's just you got to stay on the field, And I get injuries happen, and it's unfortunate, but it's a business. Not we're not here, to make everyone's feelings happy. It's about winning ball games at the end of the day, and if you can't be on the field to help your team win ball games, there's just no room on this team for you.
Right, like you said, it sucks to say, but you're not doing us any favors just completing rehab assignments.
Yeah, and then just like when it comes to Frazier and Andujar, yeah, okay, at this point I would have been okay with trading one of them, if not both. But again, it's also just like their stocks aren't that high, because Clint's still batting below the Mendoza line, and Duhar's shown more pop, a little bit more pop than Frazier this year, but his glove is awful. Like
Yeah,
you just can't put him in the field at all. Given Clint has shown a better glove, and Clint, also with Clint's deal is, I don't even know, like, because he went on the IL because he is getting like really bad vertigo. Like
yeah,
is he going to be okay to like play baseball? Because like I imagine like you know sight is a kind of a big deal when it comes to playing baseball games.
yeah. I'd imagine, Dylan. I know that last I heard, they were just still looking at treatment options,
Mhm.
um, but I don't think there's anything solid or positive coming out of the Clint Frazier camp as of late. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and he's just another guy that I kind of I've always liked him since even when we traded for him and before he made his MLB debut. Because I don't know if you remember this, but like he's always kind of been like a big prospect name because
Yeah,
everyone always talked about, they're like, yo, this kid's got like his bat speed is like Gary Sheffield esque, like just watch out. And like I mean he does have fantastic bat speed, and he showed it last year. Just we haven't seen any of it this year. So I mean, it just I mean it sucks because like you like these guys, and we've been rooting for them forever. But at the end of the day, it's like they weren't getting it done this year. They weren't getting, other than Kluber. None of these guys have been getting, except for obviously, but he hasn't been playing. But none of these guys have been getting it done, and just the way this team is playing right now too, I can't see them fitting in at all. Uh, and if you ask me, like, I'd rather see Odor. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'd rather see Rugnet Odor out there getting at bats over Voit, Frazier, and Andujar, because again, lefty bat providing more balance.
yeah,
Uh, to a team that obviously needs the balance. Now that we have, you know what it is like? It's like now that we have the balance, the lefty righty balance in our lineup. It's like I'm addicted to it. I just need to see more and more of it every day. And I mean, so far it's proven dividends. Like teams look brand new.
I mean, yeah,
So
they do. They look like a brand new team. It's like something out of a fairy tale, Dylan. It's like they're improving and improving, and we're just seeing it right before our eyes. It's amazing.
do you know what the funniest thing about just this whole trade deadline? We'll obviously get into what else happened around the league, because I mean this trade deadline was unbelievable. Um, the day of the deadline, we got smoked by the
Oh
Rays.
yeah, oh
We
yeah,
got we got smoked. Garrett Cole got his ass lit up, and like I was watching that game first inning. I was like, oh, this is how this is gonna go. Maybe I won't watch all of this game because the first inning, I mean, the Rays just lit him up like a Christmas tree. Uh, and I was like, oh, that's real depressing. And then, like, around the fifth or sixth inning, or maybe it was after the game, I don't know, but it definitely happened that it was definitely that day because obviously it was the trade deadline. When I saw that we got Anthony Rizzo, I was like, oh, I don't give a crap that we just got the crap kicked out of us. We got Anthony Rizzo. Like, oh,
Oh yeah,
Cole sucked. Who cares? We got Rizzo. You know, but I thought that was a funny little fact that, like, we get smoked, yet I couldn't have been in a better mood the next day. Could not have been in a better mood.
yeah. No, that was great. Certainly a good way to cap off a crappy day for the Yankees.
Yeah, it's funny because just it was, and you know what, those kind of losses are easier to roll off the shoulder than you know
Close game.
the
Yeah.
heartbreakers that we've been having to deal with. And just also one quick thing I want to ask you: have you like? I hate that like almost every game that we play, it's like they're tight games.
Yeah,
It's
it
yeah.
is stressful. But aside from yesterday, it is stressful.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the stress level for every single game this whole season has been at like a 9 or a 10. And there's almost like just no games where, like yesterday, we could just put up our feet and just be like, oh, score 7-0. I don't have to worry about that. I'll see. Hopefully, we hit a couple more. Hopefully, Giancarlo hits a garbage time home run, which he's always good for that. Um, which I mean, also real quick, boy, has he looked bad.
Yeah, he
He's,
looks awful.
I know, we didn't talk about this in the pre-show, but oh my god, he is cold and just like like obviously when he runs into one, they go far or they're hard hit and he just gets a hit. But just some of these swings, like I could go up there and make a better swing.
Sometimes it does feel like that you truly could go up there and make more of an effort than at least he makes it look like he gives. Um, yeah, he's just like you said.
It's just ugly.
It is. He's swinging at pitches that aren't even in the strike. It's a bad version of Giancarlo Stan we're seeing right now. It really really is.
Like when
It's
he's,
sad.
it's just like when he's cold, there's no one colder.
Oh no, he is cold. When he's cold, he's cold, cold.
But the other thing is, I'm not gonna kill him and be like, oh, I don't want him on. I don't really want him on the team anymore, just because he just takes he's just like a roadblock to a lot of moving parts that we could have had, like i.e. Michael Brantley. But I know he's just going to be on the team. We have to deal with it, and we got to deal with the fact that he's going to be on the team for the foreseeable future. But I'm not going to I'm not on the full hate train. I'm just going to call him out when he sucks, because also Yankee fans forget he hit 6 home runs in the playoffs last year. He's he can be good. Like he can carry the team. He
Yeah,
just he's just really sucks. Like really, really, really sucks right now, and he also just makes a lot of money. So those two combinations are just food
not good.
For Yankee haters and Yankee fans that hate their own team to just feast on.
Yep.
And there's plenty of Yankee fans that love to hate on their own team.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about this trade deadline. I'm just gonna say it, Joe, ahead of time. Holy shit, that was nuts. This trade deadline was nuts. What I mean, like I haven't seen anything
I
like it.
yeah, I was in disbelief. My phone was blowing up every 5 seconds with a new deal. I mean, you got guys like what's his face, Chris Bryant moving to San Francisco, Javi Baez going to the Mets. I mean, the Cubs just absolutely blew themselves up.
Oh,
Um,
full on.
You got Scherzer and Trey Young going to the Dodgers, which I could
Trey
not see
Turner,
that
but
deal.
Freudian slip. Trey Turner.
Craig Kimbrell going to the White Sox. I mean,
Cool.
so
Yep.
many deals. Blue Jays getting a couple pitchers
Jose Barrios.
and Brad Hand.
Yep.
And then obviously the Yankees grabbing who they grabbed,
Gallo.
Gallo and Rizzo, and
Yep.
then the Red Sox even did a couple additions. Kyle Schwarber, I believe they got a pitcher from the Twins as well.
Yeah, they did.
Mariners getting Diego Castillo. Cesar Hernandez going to the White Sox.
The A's getting Starling Marte.
And Yan Gomes and Josh Harrison
Yep.
from the Nationals. Braves getting Adam Duvall.
Padres got Adam Frazier.
The Padres got
Adam Frazier.
Adam Frazier. Yep. The Braves got Adam Duvall and Eddie Rosario. And what else? Some other things happened. The Phillies got Kyle Gibson and Ian Kennedy from the Rangers.
Yep. The Rays getting Nelson Cruz.
Dodgers got Danny Duffy.
It's just.
I mean,
you know what's a crazy stat? I heard it today on SportsCenter. 10 out of the 21 All-Stars got traded this year. Crazy. This year's All-Stars. 10 out of 21 All-Stars got traded. That is nuts.
Yeah, and then that's not even it. John Lester going to the Cardinals, Daniel Norris going from the Tigers to the Brewers, Jay Happ to the Cardinals as well. Just a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Cole Hamels just actually got dealt to the Dodgers.
Was he even playing? Do you know?
I think he was coming off the IL with the Braves, I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was coming off the IL with the Braves, and then the Braves, I believe, just moved him to LA.
Okay, all right. Interesting.
But all around these, just so many teams are just going, full chips in on this season. Obviously the Dodgers situation. I don't think they make that move for Max Scherzer if the whole Trevor Bauer thing is not going down the way it has.
No. Yeah, it's highly doubtful, but it's still a power move, say the least.
Oh, I mean, just that whole team, it's not even fair how good they are. It's not even fair. Like, they added arguably top 5 shortstop in the league to go along with Corey Seager when he gets back, Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Max Muncy. Who am I missing? The redhead.
Justin Turner.
Yep, Justin Turner. And then they got Kershaw. I mean, now they have Scherzer. I mean, just the Dodgers were already the best team in the league, and now they just added the pitcher of the decade and a shortstop that can do it all with fantastic speed, fantastic pop, and a great glove. Like, the rich just keep getting richer. But I love the fact that the Giants went out and got a piece, and that they're like, you know what? Screw it. Like, maybe this season might be a little blown up or overblown, considering maybe we're ahead of time on the rebuild, but screw it. Like, we're going all in. By getting Chris Bryant, he immediately paid off dividends by smacking a home run. And then the Padres just getting better with the Padres infield between Tatis, Cronenworth, Machado, and now Frazier. It's like just all-star infield right there already.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I hate to say it, but I do not like the Dodgers one bit. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I hate them. But I'll straight up I hate the Dodgers. I hate the fans. I hate Dodger fans because they're cocky, but also if you went there and ask them questions about their team, they're like, like I like Mookie Betts, I like Cody Bellinger. They couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about their team
And
other than
speaking
them.
of Bellinger, Dylan, he's god awful this year.
Yeah, it's not good.
He's hitting 165. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it.
Oh boy, wait, what?
Yeah, he's hitting 165 on the year. Search that up real quick and let me know what you think.
Oh boy, that's ugh.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger not looking too hot. A lot of people are saying to even send him down to the minors so he can readjust his.
You don't send them. You don't send the MVP down to the minors. You don't send an MVP down to the minors. Oh my god.
Yeah, I just found this out today too.
Okay, he's been hurt for a lot of the games. He's missed a lot of time. I can see. And excuse us. We're just I feel bad that I didn't know that maybe he was hurt for a while. But this is a Yankees podcast. We don't really venture out or care all that much about other teams except Joe and Jacob DeGrom. That's like the only other guy we ever talk about outside the Yankees is just Joe's hate for DeGrom, which is a burning hate of 1,000 suns. He hates that guy. But that's also, speaking of DeGrom, that sucks that he's out till September.
Yeah,
The fact that like the Mets only got Javi Baez and didn't help out that rotation or bullpen at all is just that's dumb on their
that's
part.
the Mets, though. It's our beloved crosstown rivals.
The Mets are gonna always be the Mets, no matter what owner you got back there.
Mets
And oh yeah. And before we wrap it up real quick, I want to get back to just the Yankees trade deadline moves. Obviously we know we got Gallo and Rizzo, but I want to talk about real quick who we didn't get, and or more specifically the positions we did not address. I didn't really feel like we needed to add a starter. I definitely felt like we needed to add a bullpen arm. And
yeah, we could have definitely used one, Dylan. You're right.
Because I didn't really see a lot of relievers other than Kimbrel out there getting shopped around or trade rumors. But just you can never have enough quality arms in the bullpen. That's at least that's my mindset about it. What did you think? How did you feel about not getting an additional arm in the bullpen?
I would have liked one. I think that these arms in the bullpen are very capable. And I don't think it's that big of a deal that we didn't get one, but it certainly would have been nice to get a star reliever in this bullpen, like a Craig Kimbrel or a Brad Hand that moved around on the deadline day. It would have been nice, Dylan, but I'm not heartbroken over it. But at the same time, I was expecting a reliever to come in.
Yeah, and I definitely have to say, I'm not heartbroken about it either. And I think part of that is to do with Chapman's resurgence. Because, if we were sitting here and Chapman, I'm not going to say he was, if he was still, as bad as he was. Because if he kept that up, I just straight up think he wouldn't be playing. But, if he was, kind of flaky and not as good or, and Britton was still doing what he was doing, I would have been like, for sure, we need to add an arm to the bullpen. It was kind of like I would have liked to see it addressed, but I'm not going to get all, heartbroken about it either if we don't. But obviously, with the move, just obviously the theme of this podcast is Dylan is through the moon about Anthony Rizzo. And I think all Yankee fans right now are obviously through the moon about Anthony Rizzo. And he's going to be a huge, huge piece moving forward. Just real quick, catch us on Facebook at the Roll Call Podcast, Twitter at the Roll Call Show, and at IG, all undercase, the Roll Call Podcast. For Lucas Balduck, I'm Dylan Oxton. Catch you guys next week.